Shawn Ray here from Muscle and Fitness and Flex, and I want to talk to you guys a little bit about posing. I've been getting a lot of inquiries about the art of posing, namely for competition. Anybody can pose at home in front of their mirror, for their friends, in their kitchen, or in the best lighting in the gym, but it's a whole nother ball game when you decide that you're going to put on some tiny shorts and go out into the public arena and perform on the stage under the bright lights with an audience and a panel of judges. Let me give you a few tips that helped me out. If I can go back in time and do it all over again, naturally I would have studied a bodybuilding show or two prior to actually taking the stage. But at 17 years old, I was thrown to the wolves. The first show I ever saw and the first show I was ever in happened to be one and the same. In 1983, in Newport Beach, California, I was doing a teenage competition. And going into that competition, I felt like I was ready. I felt like I was prepared. I did everything I can do. I studied video, I studied magazines, and I actually practiced mandatory poses in front of the mirror. The distinct advantage that I had was that I was working with two-time Mr. Universe, three-time Mr. World, John Brown. And John Brown was known for his posing back in the late 80s over in Europe as he won those championships. He was one of the stellar standout performers who raised and elevated the bar for posers that came behind him like Vince Taylor, Melvin Anthony, Darren Charles, Richard Jones, myself, Milo Sarchev, some very impressive names on that list that followed in the footsteps of John Brown. Now, we all didn't have his style, but we understood the art and the intent of what the posing was actually all about. A lot of bodybuilders don't understand. You can spend the better part of your career training in the gym, building your biceps, building the legs, and defining all the muscles and staying on a regimented diet. But if you're not able to perform and show and demonstrate the hard work that you've put in the gym on the stage to music, under the lights, scantily clad, then it's all for naught. Because what you have to remember is that when you go to a show, there's only a small fraction of people there to watch that, paid customers, fans of the sport, trainers, other competitors, families, and friends. But the bigger picture, especially with social media now, is that all eyes are on you. The rest of the world is watching. So keep that in mind the next time you get ready for a competition, that it's not about the couple hundred or few thousand that happen to be in attendance, but the millions around the world that happen to click on YouTube or happen to click on Instagram or go to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever social media thing it is, and see you performing your posing routine. Do you want that posing routine to be a reflection of your negligence or of your discipline? The same discipline that you put in with your diet, with your training, with your trainer, with your hair and your makeup, your tanning, and all of that, where you're dotting the I's and crossing the T's. When it comes down to stepping on that stage, in front of that arena, with the judges and the cameras and the live action video streaming action that happens with the social media, you need to look like you've been there and done that before, like a professional. It doesn't matter that it's your first show. If you practice, study, when you get there, you'll know what to do and also what not to do. The fidgeting around, the moving around the oil on your body while you're standing in front of the public, hands on the hips like you're totally disinterested, relaxing. You never really relax, do you? You always keep the abs tight. You always stay on the quadriceps. You always make sure that your symmetry and your balance are exactly how you practice them. Get to the point where you stand like a statue, where everything is second nature. It takes discipline and practice and practice and practice. The same way you build your body, you've got to work on the poses, the mandatory poses, the compulsory poses, the free posing, the entrance onto the stage and the exit off the stage. You need to be polished from top to bottom. What is that going to entail? It's going to entail a little bit extra. And to the victor goes the spoils. The one that puts in the extra is the one that reaps the extra. You may not win on the competition stage, but you look like a champion. All eyes will be drawn to you. And a lot of guys have made a very good living in the art of guest posing, where they might not have been able to win the big one, but they were in popular demand, like myself, around the globe to perform, because we did the business and we dotted the I's and we crossed the T's when it came to performance. So remember that people are paying money not only to see the competitive component, but the performance element. If you're missing it, find it. The only way that you can actually look like a professional and be acknowledged as a professional is if you act like a professional. So dot the I, cross the T, work on your mandatory poses, and we'll see you on the big stage. right here at Muscle Fitness and Flex. For the Shawn Ray Report, I'm Shawn Ray.